There are days that change your life quietly. No thunder. No accident. Just a buzz. A vibration. A tiny ripple that shifts everything. It was a morning like any other, soft and slow, sun curling through beige curtains. The air smelled faintly of setting spray and overripe strawberries. Somewhere in the clatter of rings and receipts, a phone screen lit up, bright, urgent, and unapologetically digital. Keila didn't open the app out of hope. Hope required energy. This was curiosity. Boredom dressed in lingerie. She hadn't eaten yet. She hadn't even brushed her teeth. But her thumb was already swiping left, 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 until it wasn't. His profile was quiet. No shirtless mirror photos. No gym flexes or captions about God first. Just 5 words, stark and surgical. I only like honest women. She paused. Blinked. Looked again. No filters. No background distractions. Just him, jawline like a promise, skin like he drank expensive water, and eyes that knew too much. She swiped right. A second later, he did too. The match dissolved into conversation almost immediately. There was no spark, just fire. The kind that hums beneath your ribcage when you know you're doing something dangerous. She told herself she wouldn't go. Told herself she had work to do. Content to film. Edges to lay. But somehow, as the sun dipped behind high-rise silhouettes and the city clicked into night mode, Keila was sliding into heels and wiping gloss across her lips. Wine-colored dress. Backless. Paired with black boots that threatened mercy. Hair slicked, a face beat to bloodless perfection. She looked like revenge. Like she didn't care. Like she hadn't already replayed his voice note 15 times. She arrived fashionably 6 minutes late. He was already there, waiting, leaning against the wall like time bowed for him. No urgency in his stance. Just calm. Intentional. Like he knew what would happen, and was only curious about how. He smelled like cinnamon and clean skin. He said her name once and never again. And yet, she never forgot the way it landed in his mouth like something sacred. They climbed stairs together. The rooftop was humming. A tangle of neon, laughter, trap soul, and overpriced cocktails. Their first drink tasted like berry and bravado. They didn't talk much. They didn't need to. Her laughter filled spaces they hadn't even entered. His silence was confident, not cold. Every time she spoke, he listened like the world went mute. There were others around them, waiters, friends of friends, exes disguised as strangers, but they faded. Quickly. Completely. Midnight came too fast. So did the excuses. She needed to go home. He needed to call a driver. The rain was threatening. The air was sticky with heat. None of it mattered. By 1:20 a.m., they were back in her space. City lights blinking through half-drawn blinds. Shoes abandoned. Phones ignored. They kissed like they'd done it before. Like they were catching up, not beginning. No awkwardness. No explanations. Just breath and skin and unspoken consent. It wasn't rushed, but it wasn't slow either. It was deliberate. Like each motion had already been decided hours ago. Like their bodies had been texting behind their backs. He didn't ask to stay. He just did. At 2:03 a.m., Zire was asleep, his arm wrapped loosely around her waist. His heartbeat pulsed against her shoulder blades. But Keila was wide awake. Staring at the ceiling. Memorizing the shape of the moment. This wasn't like the others. This didn't feel borrowed. Or broken. This felt like a door she hadn't knocked on, but was standing inside anyway. She didn't know his middle name. Didn't know where he'd gone to school. But something about him felt familiar. Not in the cliché sense. Not in the soulmate type of way. Familiar like déjà vu. Like that moment when you hear the end of a song and realize you've been humming it all day. Her phone buzzed again. A software update. The dating app had crashed and rebooted. Everyone's matches gone. As if nothing ever happened. She didn't check it. She looked at him instead. Still asleep. Still calm. Still the same man who'd simply written, "I only like honest women." She wondered what kind of honest he meant. Because her truth? She was already in too deep. And they hadn't even had breakfast yet.